Hey everybody, and welcome back to Brooks Hobby Shop on another cold, wet, rainy day. A quick announcement before we get into this video. My videos are going to be less frequent here for a while, one a week, because it is December 6th. And we are heavy into the holiday season, and that's going to take some time away from my work here. And also, I've made mention of this in a previous video, but my mother is in her 80s, and I'm having to divide my time between this, all the work I do here, and caregiving for her. And it's just going to take some time away from my shop work here for a while. And so my videos are going to be once a week, but probably, I don't know. I'll have to see, as time allows, for maybe I can get 2 a week out, but I'm not counting on it. Anyway, in this video, we're going to go ahead and change out the cabinet floor in this 1968 model, 1969 built MAGNAVOX color television. And that's not normally a part of revival, but it is a part of restoration if you're planning to go ahead and just have something and keep it and enjoy it. So we're going to go ahead and get into that in this video, but I just want y'all to know, if you're used to 2 videos a week, they might be 1 a week occasionally from here, until we get into 2026. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Normally my solution for particle board and chipboard cabinet floors is just to lacquer them and seal them, or even at times I've used just spray paint, just soak them down with spray paint, to stop them from going to pieces. But this one right here really started announcing itself after the chassis was pulled out. I think the chassis being anchored in this television was all that was really holding all of this together. And after pulling the chassis out, it just, without the chassis being mounted, the chassis exerting pressure to hold all of this together, it just started splitting and just instantly started going to pieces immediately upon chassis removal. So, I don't like this kind of work. I'm a chassis man. I am not a cabinet man. I am certainly no artisan at woodwork. And I try to leave cabinet work to the pros. But I don't really have a choice here. So, I've been studying this, and it's got screws underneath, mounting the cabinet floor to the rest of the cabinet. We got a great cabinet on this television otherwise. I mean, it's not scratched or gouged anywhere, really. The cabinet itself ought to be, everything except the floor is really superb in this, But that floor's just got to go. Along with the screws, I expect it to be thoroughly glued to the framing members. And I really need to get this whole floor out, because for amateurs like me, this is where I am a real amateur. I want to have this floor as intact as I can remove it, to have it as a pattern, to make this as easy on myself as possible. And I guess I'm just gonna have to try to pry it loose from where it'll be glued up through here and up here in the front. And the front was really bothering me, but I got to studying on that, and I might take this framing member out with the floor. And I hope not to have to remove the purity shield or any of the picture tube gear at all. But I was looking, and it looks like we just got 3 screws holding this framing member to the front of the cabinet. Looks like we got one right here. And if I can get past the wires, get my finger out of the shot, well, you can't see it, but there's another screw somewhere right along, right there, right there. And then it was made to have 2 more here central. But MAGNAVOX, when they built the television, kind of thankfully omitted those. And it's just got another one tucked right up under this corner right here. So my plan is, if I can get the other screws out on each side, I think I'm going to take that cross member out from across the front up here on this. Anyway, to get started, I'm going to kind of get all of this tied up and out of the way, so I don't have anything really dangling here. And that's where I'm going to begin. This might be my Waterloo, my Achilles heel, but there's just no point in having a chassis that's even been, cleaned up, just blown and brushed out like this, to then put it back on, mount it back onto a floor that's in this kind of shape, because y'all, it's just, it's breaking. It's already got a crack running across it right here. Look at that, it's just going to pieces. Doesn't appear to be cracked yet, but it's all deteriorated right here. And there's no real sign of water damage. When I picked this television up from the side of the road, it had like loose dust and all on top of it. No sign that even a heavy dew had ever settled on this television. And I was kind of surprised that the cabinet floor, after pulling the chassis out, was in the shape that it's in, but it is. So this is not the kind of work I particularly enjoy, but I'm gonna have to, just try to have as much fun with this part as I can, and try not to damage any of the rest of this wood while I'm doing it. I'm going to try to preserve all of this, the model number, serial number, run number, and have all this with the new cabinet floor once I get this done. Anyway, here we go, for better or worse. Okay, I've got the wire harnesses for our convergence yoke tied up loosely on each side. I was careful not to strain them. So let's get started. Oh me, oh my. If you're an amateur like me at woodworking, so much hinges on being able to get this done as cleanly and non-invasively as possible. Alright, I'm going to have to work with that one, but we'll go ahead and try this one. Maybe it doesn't break the fitting up there. This cabinet floor is fitted very neatly and tightly underneath the television, so I want it to be as close to that by the time I'm done as I can manage. Look as original as possible using what I can find. I'm gonna have to be very careful getting these next two screws out, because I don't want to damage any of the degaussing system around the picture tube, or in any way warp that purity shield or anything if I can avoid it. I can't even really, I'm working in a hole here where I can't hardly see what I'm getting that on. Let me try leaning it forward and maybe that'll give me a little more light. I sure don't want it to slip forward. Where is it? Where is it? Might have to go off camera to do this. I think I will. Nope, 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 nope. Caught that one. Oh boy, I'm right flat against the chassis, the floor here, and that corner wants to fall out worse than bad. But it feels like that's actually coming. Feels like I got it. Believe I do. If I can get my hand up under there and get hold of it. I'm glad they skimped on this. I'm glad they actually, normally you don't like to see where manufacturers skimped on something, but I am glad they skimped on this, because those other two they left out. If y'all can even remotely see that, you probably can't. I'm probably wasting my time. Right in there, there's a hole where they left one out, and now I've got another one, and the degaussing harness is right in my way, but it's just secured by this little retainer right here. If I can just kind of get that just enough. Oh, and the head of my driver is just not quite reaching that. I'm gonna have to go off camera and come back for y'all. It's just as well I've got my shot all screwed up now anyway. There we are. There we are. Had to go ahead and get that pulled back a little further out of the way. But come on now. Don't slip for me. Of course, when they built this, the framing members and all were already in place. And then they screwed the floor on, glued and screwed it from underneath. But there we are. Let's see, did I get this one? Come on, that'll be the last one, and I'm lucky if I got it. Got it. Okay. Welcome to minutia land. Not a whole lot I can really show while I'm doing this kind of work. Thank y'all for hanging around as far as you have. Okay, I've got multiple towels here laid down for padding. So I'm just going to lay this right on over onto its face. I couldn't really decide if I wanted to go up on its side or upside down or face down. I think face down is probably best. If I went on its side and the cabinet floor did come out, it might lose support and that might end up bending and warping the sides. So I'm just going to gently lay her right on over. Get her good and supported there. Boy, look at that. And a lot more to come before this is over. Got rain outside and particles of wood raining in here. Okay, on each side we've got number 2 Phillips head screws going around, which I'm going to go ahead and get out, and then I guess I'll have to set it back up and start trying to just kind of pry all this loose. But look how close that seam is. I'm never going to be able to match that, y'all. I suck too much at woodwork to ever get it that doggone tight. I'm gonna have to improvise around that because a country boy like me can never, I don't stand the first chance in the world. Maybe if I took about a month, you know, slightly shaving, maybe I could match that, but okay. Maybe I should go ahead and take the venting off before I start this. I don't know. I don't want to get all that warped. Well, right now I better not. That's actually part of what's holding our corner in place. So, all right, that needs to stay for now. Okay, here we go. Main event. My, oh my. Okay, the screws came out easily enough, but Houston, we got a problem. Really something, the things we discover when we get into the proper light. Oh, by the way, somebody commented about the model information and all being stenciled onto the underside of the cabinet, and you were right. There it is. There's what remains of it right there. Here in the shop light now I can see it. I didn't see that when it was outside in the sun. But this cabinet floor slid in. They slid it in originally. It has got a tongue and groove fitting. If I can pull focus on it right here, they actually slid this cabinet floor in from the back. Right there is a groove fitting. Let me get on the other side. Maybe y'all can see it better. Yeah, right there. Right there. Tongue and groove fitting. Okay. And in addition to that, I've already felt around on it, and it is very thoroughly stuck, whether it's glued or not. So basically all hope of this coming out even remotely now in one piece. I was thinking maybe it would just maybe drop out, you know, if I pried around, you know, and separated it up in here with a scraper blade, that might, you know, let it just, you know, kind of hinge out from here. But that's out the window. No matter how much I loosen it up, it's not going anywhere with that. So if I'm going to have any kind of pattern at all on this, I've got to switch strategy. Okay, the things we get into. Oh boy. Okay, and we are on the floor. This is the plywood I was using for the chassis excavation outside, and it looks to be the perfect thickness for the cabinet floor, so I'm going to use it. And I have got the television sitting already on it, just as close as I can match it to the finished edges that are already on this wood. Perfectly, as perfect as I can get it, lined up across the back, so I won't have to cut here. That right there is not lined up, but heck, it's broke. I'm not going to even attempt with my amateur status to duplicate that tongue fitting. So on this side, I have left the side wall of the cabinet overhanging here just enough to where I'm hoping, since this plywood already has a finished edge here, maybe they'll just fit and I won't have to do any trimming or shaving on this side. I got a little mirror here. I'm going to try to show this to y'all if y'all can see it, but just, yeah, right, I'm trying to let it overhang just a little bit. Right there. So that this finished edge of this plywood will already be as close as realistically I'm going to be able to get it to fitting the cabinet on this one side. And if y'all can see it all in the mirror, if my camera will focus properly and not on my hand. There we go. I've tried to leave just barely enough because seamless looking woodwork is totally beyond this boy. So I'm hoping that this will also simplify my cutting. I'm going to try to go ahead and quit going to pieces. Going to try to go ahead and just mark it out as best I can right here. And I'll leave myself a little room to shave that, but I'm trying to do this where, you know, the more ready fit I can have it, the better. As long as I do my trimming on the outside of that line, that ought to be okay. And to mark the approximate front of it, just as, okay, that's about as good as I can get that. All right. And then we'll just come on over here and try right there. There'll be approximate front, and then we'll just do that. And there's not much here to even draw a pattern from anymore, so just gonna have to get imaginative on that. I can already tell y'all this side is probably gonna look about as effed up as it can be, but oh well. As I've gotten too fond of saying lately, you know, it is what it is. Oh, sometimes we just have to dive in, y'all. Yeah, go ahead and break. My fault for putting too fine of a point on it. Okay, front edge of the cabinet. Approximately. Knowing I'm gonna have to trim this, I'll go ahead and have me a reference line there anyway, for what little and no good it'll do. I tell y'all, in all honesty, I suck at this kind of stuff now. For a lot of folks out there, this might be the easiest part of the whole thing, but for me, no. I like chassis work. Oh, I like the cabinets to be, you know. But all right, here we are. Just got to dive in. Okay, basic pattern established. Now we can get down to business. No way in the world this can work. But that won't stop me from trying. Careful around that picture tube, Pierce. Will you loosen up at all? Oh boy, no, it is. I don't know, maybe if I am very, very agonizingly slow and careful and try, then maybe the remains of this might actually slide out to let me better that pattern some. Feels like the side of the cabinet right there. Oh well, y'all get the idea. Remarkably, it did actually pop out on the control side, leaving a pretty good edge there to go by. So I'm going to stick it back in there and let's see if we can get this side right here to actually maybe do the same thing. Well, now it's wanting to break and fall apart over here. Okay, well, let's see if I can do that and then just kind of go. All right, side of the cabinet there. Okay, if I can slip down and then just kind of come on. Right there. And And just a little bit more. Might not be able to angle this sucker out after all. Are you just playing with me, MAGNAVOX? Or are you just toying with me? Woo! Yo, 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 yo. Oh, come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no. Oh well. I guess I should say thank you. You held as long as you could. But, all right. Well, I didn't ever think I'd be doing a video like this on this television when I found it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and slide her on around. Oh boy, hold together, hold together, hold together. Gosh, from not wanting to give to just can't wait, huh? Okay. Turn on around, baby. There we go. There we go. Wow. Okay, yeah, I think this one was about ready to go, y'all. Okay, well, now, let's see, ease on out here, on out, and down. All right. Okay, here's that cross member that I took screws out of a while ago. Here are the two that MAGNAVOX omitted, and I'm thankful for that. Would have gone right here and here. Good look at the degaussing system here. And look at that, they didn't continue it the whole way around. They just used a heavy band here. Brat it into place, and then let the purity shield continue it the rest of the way around and up to the top coil. There's our less than a quarter of the speaker cone that's left. But what I'm liking is we got this done without damaging any of the edge of the cabinet down here, all the way down. It actually came out clean without any of that being scarred or nicked up at all. So far. When do you suppose the last time was television manufacturers went to these kind of lengths to fit a cabinet together? To actually put a tiny tongue and groove right there. I'd love to duplicate it, but y'all, honestly, that kind of precision is beyond this boy. Anyway, let's see if we've got what I'm hoping we got here from this cross member. Were they as precise on that as I'm hoping they were, to get me a definite line to cut by? And it looks like they were. Look at that, just as perfect and smooth and beyond people like me as it can be the whole way across. All in all, this is a lot better than what I was thinking it was going to be. It came out a lot cleaner than I was really thinking it would. Okay, now what I need to do is I'm going to handle it with both hands and not hold the camera to do it, but I'm going to get this screen for the convection cooling off the bottom and try to get all this traced out and everything and finalize at least my beginning pattern on this. And up here we still got a lot of cleanup to do. So right there, all of this will be, or yeah, it did actually, they slid it in. Got some cleanup to do, and that'll be Dremel work and scraper blade work, but Dremel work, I'm thinking primarily. Dremel time! Y'all weren't particularly itching to see all of that, were you? Okay. Been at it for a little better than an hour. Kind of helps when you got a grinding on the remains of a floor that's already basically just gone to dust. Anyway, I've also gone ahead and mapped more of this out so we can see how our final pattern turned out. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. A lot more than what I was thinking I was going to end up with, but while I had that sitting on top, I went ahead and started the holes, hoping they just might line up to match the brace holes that are already in the cabinet. And let's see, went ahead and, again, fingers and toes crossed, went ahead and started the holes for where the chassis will mount. So maybe all that'll work out. But it is well past dark here, and after all of this, y'all, my eyes are tired, and when you're getting too tired to see straight, it's time to stop and continue another day. So that's what I'm about to do. But yeah, that's better than what I was thinking for a while I'd end up with. something's got to go wrong. Anyway, we'll take it up again tomorrow. And suddenly it is December the 11th, but we finally got some dry, sunny weather to work in, and some progress has been made. I've got the form cut out, basically, not fitted yet, but I've decided that, and I was on this a while ago, but I didn't go into it. The reason I went ahead and decided to start these screw holes from the original is because of the shelf area back here in the very back. For our cabinet interlock and all the controls and everything to line up right, I'm convinced that lining these holes up with the original holes in the cabinet are key to that. So I've got the basic form cut out, and my amateur status, I still haven't done the final trimming. But I'm thinking I might end up risking a gap up here at the very front, because a little bit of a gap up here at the very front of the television won't be catastrophic. But back here, due to the interlock in the back and everything, if that shelf is too far in or just a little too far out, that's going to be a problem. So that's what I was aiming for by going ahead and starting these screw holes, just to basically have them as a reference for lining it all up in the cabinet and trying to get it where once it's sitting upright, the fit will look as original as possible. Okay, I'm getting there, and this is looking kind of crappy to me. Finished plywood, and me obviously don't agree, but this is what I had on hand. Looks better from the top where people actually see it, but where all these holes were started. But yeah, me and finished plywood, it always splinters with me when I drill on it. Over here, where I originally let the cabinet overhang when I was drawing the pattern, this is looking excellent. Over on this side where I'm trimming, I can see I'm going to have a gap up here at the back, and that's typical of me. Fortunately, how many people are ever going to see it? But, well, the whole world, because I'm putting it on YouTube. But still got more trimming to do down here, so there'll be a lot more gap down here by the time I'm done. Maybe it'll look halfway decent across the front, but like I said, you know, it just goes to show the artisanship that was put in the cabinets back then, even when they were working with cheap, non-preferable material. Those people really knew how to fit a cabinet together. I mean, that was huge. That's always something that impresses me in old equipment like this. But anyway, let me go ahead and do more trimming down here and create a larger gap, just trying to take a little hair off. I always take way too much off, but that's me. So big salute to all the people out there who do professional woodwork. You all have my respect. This right here is the reason you don't want TV men like me remodeling your kitchen cabinets. Okay, back to the grind. Well, y'all, if I can speak totally candidly, Aside from the finished plywood splitting, this is at least minimum 1,000 times better than I ever thought I'd be able to achieve this. And the cabinet back thus far looks to be fitting it absolutely perfectly. I cannot believe the way all of this is just looking. I mean, wow. Screw holes all lining up just right. And somehow I managed to achieve probably, you're probably actually seeing the closest fitting I have ever done in my entire life, right here, right now. I cannot believe it actually, that I actually fitted it that close all the way down. A few gaps down here at the bottom, but I figured there would be, and that was a little bit sacrificial to me, as I said, but I wanted it as right as I could get it. Over here on this side, lining it up, opened up a tiny little gap right there, right at the very front. And why am I obsessing on that? Well, I'm thinking about, you know, the way that people's hands grip this stuff and kind of pull out on it down here when TVs like this are being picked up, and the way that might eventually, the risk of that causing a splinter to pull out down along the bottom when this thing looks like it's going to clean and polish up so good. But wow. And you know now, since it's December 11th, how long it took me to actually achieve this, but oh my gosh. I never thought I'd be able to get it this good, y'all. Honest truth. I did not believe that my butt could ever, if I devoted a year to it, ever get it to turn out this good. And with it sitting upright, it's not going to look half bad from the inside. So, yeah, I am proud of this. My trimming was done. I did all of this just as amateurish as anybody could do. Just a jigsaw with a smooth cut blade, standard drill, and the trimming was done with a bench grinder. This one right here specifically. I have absolutely no proper woodworking set up at all. So, you know, doing this kind of work, I can either invest in tools for cabinets and all that, which isn't really my line, or I can put that money into parts and all for the chassis and everything for this old equipment. So I'll limp along just with very, very basic woodworking capability. I got way offline right here with the jigsaw, by the way. Notice how far past the line of that. That's just me being out of practice with a jigsaw. It should have looked like that, but it looks like this. But, you know, I'm going to tell myself that the power supply section needed more ventilation, and you know what? That might actually be the truth. Okay, I want to smooth all this up and then paint it. And matching all of this paint that manufacturers used inside of radio and television and stereo system cabinets for me has always been impossible. I just use whatever is on hand. I don't even know if any of these colors, really even have a name, or if they're even manufacturer specific. I know Philco tends to go with more of a red shade, and this is more brown. And I could find absolutely nothing just in regular paint that matched that really, but the color of choice, the flavor of choice is going to be one single can, because this is all they had, of Rust-Oleum Claret Wine, which won't match. Watch out for that picture tube neck pierce, but this ought to look kind of conscientious anyway. So, I'm gonna get that done. And I'm going to attach all of this back with screws. Originally, they had about a bazillion staples holding all of this, but I'm just going to attach it back with screws. So, I'm going to see if I've got any feet. I'll probably just use some temporary feet right now to keep it all elevated, but that's the way she's looking so far. And I'm proud of that. I am proud of that. I mean, that's the closest fitting I've ever done, y'all, in my entire life, right here. Be gentle with me. Merry Christmas, MAGNAVOX. You still don't owe it to me to ever play again, but you've got a new cabinet floor. If you'd like to maybe take that under consideration, please. Well, the color was further off than what I imagined it to be in my head. But, looking good, looking good. Looking a lot better than what it had. And the floor is not glued in. Just in case I want to pull this again and maybe for one thing find a closer match color-wise later on. I've got temporary feet mounted, and I call them temporary, but they're actually pretty good. These are used, but they're rubber, so surface protective. And they've still got some pliability to them, and they're the perfect height. You want to have about a good 1/4 inch at least underneath old tube sets like this for proper ventilation. And right now I've just got them mounted where the cabinet floor screws in, because when I remount the screen for the vent, that's going to determine some of where the feet go. And also I want to feel this thing's overall balance and everything once it's all fully back together before I make a final determination as to the location of the feet. So right now I'm just making use of a ready-made resource where the cabinet floor was screwed in at the back and at the front, well, the sides and the front. But that's looking good to me. Also, I might not ever glue this in actually. It's fitted just, I mean, this wood was just the perfect thickness for this. So I don't really think it has to be glued in. I think once it's all, well, I think right now, you know, it'll hold just fine. But yeah, this looks a lot more workable now, and now we've actually got a television that looks like it's worth repairing. Sitting pretty, sitting pretty. You know what, I think I'll just leave those front feet where they are. They're pretty well concealed just like they are. Got a little recess already right here in the front. Magnacolor. And it's sitting very, very solid and feeling excellently balanced. Not front heavy at all like that. So yeah, I think the back feet are the only ones that'll be repositioned. Finally move it around without trash raining down all over the place. All of this for a television that I have yet to even check any of the major components in, aside from the picture tube, which, if y'all saw that video, checks like new. A brand new quality picture tube in this. Looking good enough from the inside. And ultimately, you know what? Why not just leave it this color? Let me know what y'all think. I mean, really, who's gonna see it? Regarding the screen on the bottom, back during this time period, a lot of televisions had removable panels down under the bottom, so you could service the chassis somewhat without having to pull the chassis from them. So going back with screws only seems logical to me, rather than trying to staple it. And who knows, my extra big opening here might come in handy. I managed to pry this off of the original floor. Managed to cut it out. And I plan to have that on the floor in this one. But if I'm going to repaint it, I don't need to glue that and everything before I repaint it. And maybe because to preserve it, it's still got wood chips and all from the original floor under it. What do y'all think? Is it worth actually, you know, hollowing, creating a little hollow here so that it sits totally flush? Or am I just going overboard at this point? Anyway, removing this, the original floor finally gave its last. Oh gosh, this is officially the worst floor I have ever seen in a cabinet that was still really even a cabinet to speak of. Look at that. I mean, just all to pieces. Most of the time when you have a cabinet floor in this kind of shape, you don't even hardly have a cabinet left. This looks like something that had been sitting out in the woods for about, 4 or 5 years. But yeah, I was dreading this job. It is actually December 12th, Friday, December 12th, 2025 now. I knew this was going to be a huge job and kind of an agonizing one for me, and I was dreading it, but it is totally worth it. If the chassis will just mount in these original holes, I might have to widen them some to give it some slip, you know, for the interlock and everything and to position it, but we won't worry about that. Yeah, this is totally worth it. This just feels like a totally workable project now. And it's boosting my spirits to look at it and not see something, any part of it, just going to pieces anymore. Anyway, that's about all we've got for this one, y'all. I'm glad I finally put in and did this. And I knew, along with everything else I had to do this week, it was going to probably be a while. So I'm going to try to get this out tonight so y'all can have it for the weekend. And next video, we will finally get into all of this. We will finally get into the chassis of this television and start doing, now I guess this is what, part 6? And in part 7, we will finally get around to doing some testing and everything and all that I would have thought we'd have gotten into in part 2 of this series. But better late than never. And you know what? When we got a new cabinet floor, I guess I might as well combine some chassis cleaning and everything into the checkout of the chassis and all. If you look where that cover was, I mean, this sucker originally just had a chassis in it that just gleamed, and it looks like it'll clean up real good. But anyhow, more cleaning work, but I'm committed to this now. It's gone from a revival to a quest for a full and total restoration. And I kind of had that in mind for this television when I first saw it on the side of the road. But for this one, I'm already into a more than hour-long video here. But I wanted y'all to see how inept I am, and this is some of the stuff that I get into sometimes. Life throws twist at you, and in the case of this MAGNAVOX, a totally unworkable cabinet floor was that twist. Anyhow, y'all take care of each other, and caregivers of the world, I see you, I feel you, thank you, you're not alone, we appreciate you here, and we're in the holiday season, so y'all look in on those you love, all those near and dear to you, and y'all take care of each other, and have a great, wonderful week, and we'll see you next week when we finally get into the electronics part of this electronics channel on this 1968 MAGNAVOX. Until then, be good as you always are. Brooks Hobby Shop. We're out.